Those that you don't know, I'm Bill Carpenter, Joel Litz, Larry Stoller. We're the 3 county commissioners sitting at the Board of Assessment Appeal. With us today is Dan Seaman and Carl Stump from the Assessment Office, the County Administrator Jamie Wagaruth, and Kurt Richards from the School District. Okay, George, you got yours.
You know, John, a tremendous amount of money was spent on it. Obviously, as everyone knows, he went bankrupt, and it was out of that bankruptcy that these gentlemen purchased that property. We are here today on that appeal from that bankruptcy, from that purchase and the assessment. There are a number of items that I want to present today, and Jonathan Byler will present them. Basically, the purchase of the property, as well as the income value of the property. The total purchase price of the property was $1,305,000, and that included all sorts of personal property, which the accountant for the corporation has set forth in an exhibit, which I will present to you. That is a general format. Jonathan, would you want to tell the members of the board what the Lebanon Farmers Market LLC is?
As far as the ownership?
Yes.
The Lebanon Farmers Market LLC is an LLC that has 3 partners, one being Henry Yingst, who's a 25% partner, one being his Story Management Company LLC, which is an LLC that me and my wife own wholly. It's 25%, and a 50% partner is Byler Management Company LLC, which is a company owned by my mother, father, sister, and myself.
In regard to the farmers market, when did you become interested in that prior to the sale? Approximately.
In the months leading up to when we bought it, the last probably month or 2, we had heard that the bank, it wasn't sold at sheriff's sale, and that the bank was looking for bidders.
So the property went to sheriff's sale, nobody bought it, and then went to the bankruptcy, and the bank itself set up a corporation which bought it, is that correct?
Correct. They transferred it into that LLC through the bankruptcy.
And did you enter into an agreement, did you bid on the property?
We did.
And that was a public bid, is that correct?
Correct.
And how many bids were submitted?
My understanding, we were one of 4 bids.
And what was your bid which you submitted for that property?
$1.305 million.
And did that include all of the personal property within the entire facility?
It did.
You got an assignment of the agreement from the bank's holding company, Chesapeake Holding Company, is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that a copy of that agreement?
Yes, it is.
A couple copies if you want a couple copies. I'll give those to you all at one time, Mr. Stone.
This isn't a fully executed copy. Is there signatures on? Is there one for the signatures all the way down through?
I can certainly get a copy. I may have printed off the wrong one.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. There's next to you.
We'll see that you get that. Settlement sheet is a settlement sheet and has been signed by all of the parties. You indicated that you received personal property as a part of this, is that correct?
Yes.
Who is the accountant for your corporation?
Bruce Darkus.
And basically, Bruce Darkus has been the accountant for your corporation and is a certified public accountant, is that correct?
Yes.
Did he prepare a letter for you and basically show the values of the furniture and fixtures and the milling and the cabinetry?
Yes, he did.
Showing you exhibit number 3, is this a breakdown of those amounts?
Yes.
And the personal property, which would include the signs, portable refrigerations, the cassettes, the restaurant fire protection, the milling and cabinetry, he's basically laid out what the personal property was, is that correct?
Yes.
And for all practical purposes, he's taken the land and the land improvements at $100,000. And after deducting all of the personal property, the real estate outside of the land and buildings is $824,852, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you feel that, your opinion is 300,000, approximately 300,000, a fair figure to place on the personal property that you received with your bid?
Yes.
In your opinion, is the $1 million a fair market value based upon the fact that it was placed for public sale and that you bought it for $1 million?
Yes.
Has he also done in exhibit number 3 the income approach in regard to the property?
Yes.
And that income approach is $502,000.
Yes.
Are the leases for the property available to the county if they care to see them?
Yes.
In order to justify the income approach?
Yes.
So from an income approach, your valuation is $500,000, and from a sale approach, it's $1 million for that property. Is that
Yes.
correct? Is there anything else that you would like to add to the commissioners at this point?
Not this time.
John or Henry, is there anything that you would like to add?
No, I don't think so. You know, everything's pretty well self-explanatory.
The commissioners have it. Mr. Richards, any questions you'd like to ask? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you.
No, you didn't.
Carl, do you have anything that you need, or have you been down to the property?
Well,
Numerous times, right?
no, not really. I was out there just the other day. Under the circumstances with last year's proceedings, and I envisioned that we could probably request certain information, especially the income
Be
side
happy
of
to
it.
provide it for you. You can either
We did request it before, we just never received it.
Well, okay. Whatever you want, Carl.
Yeah.
You can call me or you can call Jonathan directly. Okay? And we'll provide it for you.
And where should you call Jonathan? You have a card, Jonathan, or something? Go ahead.
I was just curious about vacancies. What is your percentage of occupancy or vacancies, whichever you prefer to?
We are probably about 90–95% occupied right now.
And what is the length of the leases?
Between month to month and 2 years. There's one, the upstairs, the restaurant, the third floor is different there. That's a 5-year lease on the restaurant and a 3-year lease on the picture frame studio. But the majority of the other leases are anywhere from 1 to 2 years, and some that are month to month.
Thank you.
Where you had the breakdown here, the different amounts for personal property, what do you mean by lighting and signs and those things?
I mean, like signs are the signs that go outside. Lighting is different specialty lighting that's there.
What the signs, are they mounted on the building, or are they something that you sit
You
at?
have a sign that's out on Cumberland Street, and you have a sign that's on 9th Street.
Is it attached to the building?
No,
No.
no.
You mean that flashing one that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 2 of
The
them.
one that-
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
And then the kiosks, those are the
This is a freestanding little
free
kiosk.
signs. For the fire protection, what do you mean by special electric components?
Special electrical, there's a whole system there where every
I have another question.
vendor has their own meter and different system. It's one utility thing, but then there's a apparatus, I don't know what you call it, apparatus that meters every single thing differently and then ties into software system.
And describe Milligan cabinetry for me.
Things like the bar and different things that were attached to the,
But can be removed.
Right.
Yes.
yeah.
Joel?
I was curious, when you bought the property, did any of the obligations to the state for money that was given to Kalavani, did any of that follow through to you, or do you have a clean slate to start with?
That's why it went through bankruptcy. That's the only way you can really clear all that up, and that's why the bankruptcy court, which approved it, which I'll give you this, which is a long dissertation for all practical purposes, approved that free and clear of all liens and encumbrances. And then that obligation of the state attaches to the funds that was created, so they can fight over the funds from that. A number of copies of it.
I wasn't sure if it just applied to the bank. Thank you for sharing that.
That's correct.
Carl, you had something?
I was just gonna ask probably what to me seemed to be an obvious question. Was there at any stage of the proceedings a real estate appraisal done on the property as a part of the sale?
There was none. At least from our end, if there was some out there,
Okay.
there was none provided by the bank.
You didn't need financing, so,
We were able to get financing with that.
and they didn't require any sort of an appraisal for that?
No, they did not.
You guys must have good credit.
Carl, if there's any other information that Mr. Stoller might want based upon some questions that he asked, Jonathan will gladly provide it for you, and on the breakdown of the personal property. All the
Yeah, I'd
personal
actually like to know
property
the
is
furniture
basically
fixtures.
removable. We can itemize that further for you. The account.
Okay, what we're planning on doing is probably get back to you in writing sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And it'll come to you, George and Carbon Hammer. What do you want? That's the way you want it?